On our agenda, we have, I think, for today, 3 priority questions. The first one is weapon packages, new weapon packages for supporting our army on the battlefield, and that is one. The second, I think, the invitation to NATO, and we want to be on the same page with everybody, with all the understanding. And for today, what we hear and understand that we'll have this invitation when security measures will allow. Yes, so I want to discuss with our partners all these things, and the sword will speak today and fight for this. Its security guarantees for Ukraine on the way to NATO. Thank you so much.
Kelių vėliava už Ukrainą NATO renginį. Vėliava kyla, vis dar kyla ir tuoj pakils aukščiausiame. Dużo dėkui.
Слава Україні!
Україна зробить НАТО сильніше.
Що важливо, сміливу позицію щодо запрошення України в НАТО. Українські прапори на литовській...
We reaffirmed that Ukraine will become a member of NATO and agreed to remove the requirement for a membership action plan. This would change Ukraine's membership path from a 2-step process to a 1-step process. We also made clear that we will issue an invitation for Ukraine to join NATO when allies agree and conditions are met. This is a strong package for Ukraine and a clear path towards its membership in NATO.
Very good to see you.
First of all, we need to investigate which range of French missiles we are talking about. From our point of view, it's a mistaken decision that will trigger consequences for the Ukrainian side because naturally it will force us to take countermeasures. I will once again repeat a fundamental approach for such decisions. These cannot affect how the special military operation proceeds. they can only worsen the fate of the Ukrainian regime, I suppose.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony. The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.